Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers on the broadcast today, coming to you from Washington, D.C. in the brand new House recording studios. Congresswoman Susie Lee joins us for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. Compassion, accountability, integrity, respect.
Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School for workwear and everyday wear. Evaporative coolers, outdoor living, Weber's, Traeger's, and Lodge. Fill your propane tanks here. Big R on Bering Boulevard in Sparks, next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. Big R. Hardware, clothing, and a whole lot more.
Fantastic cocktails and delicious food. It's a good time to eat. Over 500 hot slots plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good times at Tamarack.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the brand new studios here at the House of Representatives, and we are pleased to welcome back to the program Congresswoman Susie Lee of CD3. Pleasure to have you back.
Always great to be here with you, Sam.
Thank you. Some serious topics to start out with here. One of the most underrated, or underreported, I should say, news items in Las Vegas is the pressing problems of violence against women. A CDC study shows that Nevada ranks number 4 in the nation in violence against women, with 44% of Nevada women saying they've endured physical, intimate partner violence. Another study ranked Nevada as the number 4 state for murders of women by men. You helped secure $2 million for the Attorney General's office in Nevada. What will this do to help this situation? Because I was not aware. It's crazy.
Yeah, listen, this is obviously an issue that affects many women, not just in Southern Nevada, but in Nevada. And this money will go to help law enforcement, our prosecutors, and nonprofit organizations who help to deal with these victims of intimate partner violence. As you may know, this is like an issue that isn't just like a normal crime. I mean, many of these victims have to go report. They have to then pursue prosecution. There's a lot of emotional trauma involved with it and manipulation by the perpetrator. And so it's a really complicated issue. And so this funding will go to help not just law enforcement, as they, so many times our frontliners are the first ones on the scene. Our law enforcement officers get to, many of their calls go to domestic violence issues, dealing with how you de-escalate the situation, but then the follow-up and how we go through the prosecution, and then, of course, dealing with our local nonprofits who are there to help these women get through, women and men. It's not just a female issue, although predominantly is, get through the tough time of going through the trial and the prosecution, restraining orders. There's a lot involved in it, and so this $2 million will be a great resource to help these victims.
What is the research telling you is the cause of this to be in such dramatic numbers?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, there's so many factors. One is their own trauma, that the perpetrators have gone through themselves. Obviously, economic issues, housing issues, drug issues, mental health issues. There's a whole slew of factors that contribute to, leading someone to commit this type of violence.
Is there ongoing research on what can be done to try to prevent this? Because this is not something you want to see escalate, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the Violence Against Women Act is so important in providing that type of funding for that type of research.
Along with Dina Titus and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, you co-sponsored the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act. This is something that is stunning.
It's
in the sense
unbelievable.
that you go to Walmart to buy an antiperspirant and you have to call an assistant to come
unlock
the
the
case.
door. Yeah.
It's got down to that level. Obviously, there are organized retail crime rings that are doing this on a national scale, but there are also, just people stealing stuff. Do you feel that the amount of money that has been raised in terms of the level of money before it becomes an actual crime has been part of the problem, that people feel that they're just not going to get punished if they steal up to, $1,200, for example, in Nevada?
Yeah, I mean, that's why this bill is so important, because it establishes a national organized crime center. And I think what we have seen is this type of crime escalate. Most importantly, our retailers, we've done extensive work with Home Depot. I just spoke to the CEO of Walmart. I mean, this is an issue that's leading to $1 billion in losses across this country, 700,000 jobs. In Nevada alone, $85 million in 2021 of tax revenue. So having a significant impact. And of course, the safety of the employees at these retailers. And so this bill is really designed to give everyone the tools, right? Not just our law enforcement, but our prosecutors, but also to use industry knowledge and to bring the industry into how we combat this type of crime. It has become very prevalent, particularly around the coast. And something that, is not just a safety issue, it's an economic issue, and it's a convenience issue for many shoppers. Like you said, when you come in, you go to Home Depot to buy a nail gun or, to buy a sander, and you can't find it because it's behind locked doors. So they have to get an employee to take you to do that. But more importantly, this type of crime, the funds from this go to support human trafficking, drug rings, organized crime across this country. So it's an incredibly important issue, and one that we're happy to introduce this bill and work to get it passed.
Well, one of the things that's scary to me is to see what happened in San Francisco in Union Square, for example, transfer itself to either Reno or Las Vegas, to where people don't want to come because they're scared of being involved in smashing
Absolutely.
And especially the shopping, the high-end shopping in Las Vegas, we can't afford to lose that.
We cannot afford to lose that. And not only, it doesn't just affect big box retailers and big retailers. 54% of small shop owners report some type of retail theft. But what we are seeing is it's becoming more and more brazen, where these criminals are basically coming in, clearing a shelf into a bag, and almost laughing on their way out. We just saw, an employee who was shot by one of these criminals, and so let's get control of it from bringing all the resources together, give our law enforcement the tools that they need, give our prosecutors the tools that they need. And one other thing that's important too is many of these stores will just close the stores, and then you have this big blight in a neighborhood. So it's an incredibly important issue to Southern Nevada and across this country.
Well, and to your point, that's exactly what's happening in San Francisco, where major retailers and mall owners are pulling out because they don't want to have to deal with this. Plus, the other side of this is the inflation. I mean, retailers are not going to absorb this. It's going to be passed on to the customer eventually.
Absolutely.
And so it's another ding. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More topics with Congresswoman Susie Lee after this time out.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Congresswoman Susie Lee of CD3. Let's talk about immigration, because you're vice chair of the bipartisan caucus. We, especially in Nevada, we need people in every field, from literally the fields for agriculture to service industries to construction, you name it, we need people. And we are stuck in the mire here in Congress where nobody seems to want to take the lead, and yet the need is so great.
Right, not to mention the Dream and Promise Act, which we passed, and the DACA recipients, and so many of them are teachers, work in our armed services, and they're living in limbo. Listen, this has been a failure of Congress, and you know, the last bipartisan deal that was reached was in 2013, and one person did not bring it to the floor of the House for a vote. And so this is something that is, it's got to be done on a bipartisan basis. And in my opinion, it needs to be comprehensive.
Okay, all right, so let me stop you right there and pick up on that. Because it seems to me the last time we had real comprehensive immigration reform was in 1986.
Right, exactly.
And I think that the battles are too great when you look at the history of immigration reform in this country, going back to the late 70s, that by trying to do everything at once, you end up getting nothing at this point in time. So wouldn't it make sense, for example, to pass a bill that allowed people to legally come to the country to work, not to get citizenship, not to get benefits? These people are not coming here because they want to vote Republican or Democrat. They're coming here because the conditions in their countries are such that their families cannot eat.
The temporary worker visa.
Absolutely. We had it back in the 1960s, the Bracero program. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but we allow people to come here and work. Why can't we at least get that done?
Listen, I mean, we did have an agreement to move a farm workers bill for temporary workers. But what ends up happening is you start down a road of one piece of the pie, let's say temporary workers. Then you deal with people who overstay their visa and the enforcement of that. Then you deal with, well, if we're going to deal with that, when are we, we have to deal with the quota issue we have. And so, in my opinion, I think that there are so many issues, and I am a co-sponsor of the Bipartisan Dignity Act, which was introduced by Maria Salazar and Veronica Escobar. It's a truly bipartisan piece of legislation. It's complicated, but I believe that so many times, whether you're right or on the right or the left gets upset if we only do border security, and there's nothing that we haven't yet to address DACA and Dreamers, which is just an issue to me that is so heartbreaking for the thousands of Nevadans who are left in limbo and don't know. And so I believe that we need to do it in a comprehensive manner, and you should take a look at the Dignity Act. It's a strong piece of legislation.
A couple of different things to throw into this mix in the conversation is that far more people come in through regular ports of entry and overstay their visas than ever come across the border. The other part is people drone on about building the border wall. What they don't realize or understand is the tunnels that are underneath between Mexico and the United States, where drugs are moved, people are moved.
The majority of fentanyl that comes into the country comes through ports of entry. And we know that border security is not just about building a wall. It's about the technology, cameras that can penetrate trucks, drones. There's many other things you can do to increase the security of our border. And then, as it comes to visa overstays, our enforcement mechanism as well, and making sure that, as you know, we have a hard time with processing people quickly enough, getting them.
That is the understatement of the year.
Yeah. So it's a big issue, but as you know, I'm in the Problem Solvers Caucus. We have an immigration working group. And again, proud to work with my colleagues on a bipartisan manner to put together.
Do you think we can get something done by the end of 2024 before the election?
Well, let's see. I really don't have a lot of confidence in the leadership of the House right now, since they just did not pass a rule on the defense spending bill. I mean, this is a bill that normally has been a completely bipartisan bill. So, I'm going to continue to work. I know we're planning a trip, bipartisan trip to the border to bring members down to the border to continue to build those relationships so that we can actually get something done.
I remember going down to the border quite a few years ago. When Don Gibbons was running for CD2.
Mm-hmm.
And when you looked at the videos then of the Border Patrol that they would show you, and it showed like a dozen agents massed on the border and then 100 people running across the border. They could only snag so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was an impossible situation.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as there's poverty in Central and South America and around the world.
That's another piece of the equation too, and doing what we can to, help those countries and make sure that there's conditions that people can actually live there and not make the dangerous trek across the, countries with smugglers, et cetera. It's obviously hugely dangerous, organized crime, but it's our duty to continue to work on this. I know I'm committed to working across the aisle.
But you know what's crazy about this is we need the workers.
We do. It's an economics issue.
It would be a whole different story if everybody filled the jobs that we have and there was an unemployment level that we could discuss. There's all kinds of reasons why you wouldn't need. We need these people, and we need them in Nevada.
Absolutely.
Right,
I can't agree with you more.
And I'm not running for Congress. Let's take a break. We'll be right back after this time out.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Remember 2010 in Northern Nevada, 13 to 14% unemployment, thousands of homes in foreclosure, Nevada's casinos closing? Families in the Reno-Sparks area were hurting. Many were losing everything. Then Story County launched a game changer for our region, a public-private industrial partnership, streamlined permitting, slashed bureaucracy, attracting Fortune 500 companies that made Nevada their home. Story County generated a river of cash to area communities. Economic studies by the state and others for the Gigafactory consistently show positive economic benefits for our region. $4 billion in local wages, $17 billion in consumer spending and economic activity, over $100 million in taxes to Washoe, Story, Reno, Sparks, and Nevada, just for the Gigafactory alone. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
It's the $100,000 Cash is King Progressive giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Giveaways every Saturday with a Progressive up to $20K and $15,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. There's another 100,000 reasons to play and win at the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation coming to you from Washington, D.C. in these brand new studios with Congresswoman Susie Lee of CD3. You were recently named as Vice Chair of the new Democrat Coalition's Artificial Intelligence Working Group. You stated that the group will guard against potential risks in the development of AI. Should we be concerned about AI? Is it just the hot topic of the day? All right, well, fair enough.
Well, listen, I mean, there's so many aspects to AI.
Pick the top one.
I mean, first and foremost, well, privacy, security, protection against fraud.
Haven't we already given up all that?
Pardon me?
Haven't we already given up all that?
Well, listen, I mean, I think that there's so much more potential that AI can be used in dangerous ways. And so I think that that's important. You know, for instance, one way is someone to imitate someone's voice, to call up and get personal information from someone. You know, you're thinking it's a trusted friend or whatever, and you're giving away personal information that then is used to steal from you, et cetera. There's many different ways that it can be used, or even in political advertising, where you can use AI to create a video that no one knows whether or not it's real or fake.
Aren't the companies talking about the big
watermarking? Yes, that's one of the issues. We don't have legislation yet, but that's certainly one of the areas that we're looking at. The other issue is the jobs of tomorrow, what AI is going to do. It's going to make us more productive because you can basically use a computer and quantum computing to generate output that would take a human hours and hours to do. What's that going to do to our workforce? But more importantly, how are we going to prepare our workforce and the education of our workforce and reskilling people?
But don't you look back at the Industrial Revolution and say, okay, so the jobs that existed then disappeared because of automation of one kind or another, but other jobs were created because of that.
No, I don't. I'm not. One, I just think this is innovation. We're going to see a change in the way work is done. You're going to lose some jobs, but you're going to create some jobs too. And what are the skills that people are going to need for these new types of jobs? And then what does it mean to our workplace? If you can do in 50 hours what normally took you 80 hours to do, are you still going to work? Are we still going to do, what in 25 hours what took you 40 hours to do in a work week? Are we still going to have 40-hour work weeks? Those are questions that I think we will be grappling with. I think from a cybersecurity, national security risk as well, it's important. So this working group has been put together by the New Dem Coalition. I graduated from Carnegie Mellon University from the High School of Public Policy and Information Systems. And in fact, next week, the Block Center will be here. It's a center of dealing with AI policy, working with bipartisan members. We're going to have them present to the Problem Solvers Caucus. They'll be presenting to the New Dems coalition as well. So really excited to get that type of expertise on the ground here, helping us think how the steps we need to take to put some guardrails around this before it's too late.
And that's where we have to leave it. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for doing this. Let's do some Zoom stuff in the interim.
Let's do
so I don't
it.
just see you once a year.
Okay, great.
Okay,
all right,
you so
thanks,
much.
Sam.
And
Okay.
we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsoncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. Compassion, accountability, integrity, respect.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from Washington, D.C. We'll see you on the next broadcast here from Washington. See you then.